At 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
New overnight, an update on Congressman Henry Cuellar, who was carjacked at gunpoint in Washington, D.C. last night. Up next, how his office is responding to the attack this morning.
The House could vote as soon as today on a measure to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy from his leadership. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with what's behind this challenge and McCarthy's reaction this morning.
And let's look out there with live cam this morning. It's kind of cool, feels better in the 70s starting again, and looking forward to some rain once again this week.
Me too. Bring it on. Good morning, everybody. It is Tuesday. It is October 3rd. The question is, do we get too much all at once around here, which is often the case?
Yeah, sometimes a little or a whole lot, but I got drizzle. What about you yesterday?
No, just the clouds and a few rumbles here or there, but I know we had storms around, Mike.
Yeah,
you got rain.
I got a little bit of rain just in the afternoon. It was kind of like, yeah, there was some out there. It didn't really, obviously amount to too much. But yeah, Thursday is the day we are going to have to watch out maybe for some potentially heavy downpours. Most of the really heavy stuff is going to be staying up to the north and east, but you get one or two of them out there. So, but yeah, we're still looking at the front to move through on Thursday and cooler temperatures. I just love saying that after forever when it's been so hot. We do have some clouds hanging around here right now. Not as much rain as what we had at this time yesterday, but there are a couple of showers out here. Well out to the west, Uvalde, you're getting just a little bit of some light rain, and these are all moving off to the northwest again. And we'll also continue to see some developing here along the coast. There's a few out there in the Gulf of Mexico right now. So again, one or two showers this morning, and then a couple of more just scattered about, sort of like what we had yesterday. And that's going to be later on today. Low 70s right now and upper 60s in the hill country. The humidity, though, is actually a little bit higher than what it was yesterday. Dew points are up just a couple of degrees compared to this time yesterday. Still not ridiculously high, but enough to notice it. Fall elm is moderate, low amounts of mold as well as ragweed. Mold's probably going to be going up, of course, over the next couple of days when we have more rain around here. So this morning we'll drop maybe another couple of degrees here or there. Plenty of clouds, a shower or two. You got those few out there to the west right now. And then 92 after school today with a couple of showers, a couple of thunderstorms scattered about here and there. Like I said, just almost a carbon copy of yesterday. Better rain chances tomorrow, then the better rain chances move in here on Thursday. What about the weekend? Because it's going to feel like fall still around here. Details are coming up in just a couple of minutes. Steph, Mark.
Thank you very much, Mike. Now to an update on breaking news. Congressman Henry Cuellar of Texas was carjacked at gunpoint last night in Washington, D.C. by three armed attackers. That's according to his office and several other sources. The Washington Post says the robbery happened at 9:30 p.m. in Washington's Navy Yard area, about a mile from the Capitol Hill complex. According to ABC News, an alert sent to members of Congress stated that the men held guns to his head and took his car and phone. Cuellar's chief of staff released a statement saying, luckily, he was not harmed and is working with local law enforcement. He also said police eventually recovered Cuellar's vehicle. According to D.C. police, as of yesterday, there were 750 carjackings this year in D.C., 75% of which involved guns. So far, there are no reports of any arrests in this incident. And taking a live look at the Capitol this morning in Washington, that's where House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's job could still be in a bit of jeopardy. Fellow Republican Matt Gaetz filed a motion to remove McCarthy as Speaker of the House.
If a majority of House members vote in favor, McCarthy could be ousted from his post in just a matter of days. ABC's Justin Finch with more from Washington.
Recognize the gentleman from Florida, Mr.
From the House floor, Florida Republican Matt Gaetz taking aim at Speaker Kevin McCarthy, entering his motion to strip McCarthy of the speakership.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
Now the House has to rule within 48 hours. McCarthy posting his response on social media saying, "Bring it on." Gaetz finally filing his motion after months of threats that intensified over last weekend after McCarthy worked with Democrats to pass a short-term deal to fund the government until November 17th. McCarthy rebuffing Gaetz's challenge.
We got a short time period here, about 45 days to get our work done. That's my entire focus.
That bipartisan agreement buying the House more time after McCarthy failed to win over hardline conservatives who were blocking his stopgap proposals and refusing to support new Ukraine defense funding. Though the final deal does not include Ukraine spending, the president says McCarthy assured him it would be approved separately. An agreement Gates says was the final straw. Across the aisle, House Democrats have not said if they will help supply McCarthy with enough votes to keep his gavel.
At the end of the day, I'm waiting to hear from Leader Jeffries.
In U.S. history, there have only been 2 efforts to remove a sitting House Speaker. Both failed in 1910 and 2015. Gates says he has enough Republican votes to oust McCarthy, but says he's prepared for Democrats to support the Speaker. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
After a 3-year pause, student loan repayments are resuming. About 28 million Americans are expected to restart payments averaging between $200 and $300. Payments were originally put on pause due to COVID-19 and the pandemic. And while the Biden administration tried to cancel thousands of dollars in loans for borrowers, the Supreme Court shot that down. A 1-year grace period for borrowers that miss payments has been set up instead.
The U.S. Food and Drug Administration is warning hospitals about using probiotics in infants born prematurely. This comes after the death of a preterm baby who was given a probiotic in a hospital. In a warning letter, the FDA cautioned healthcare providers that bacteria and fungi found in probiotics might put preterm infants at risk of invasive, potentially fatal infections. The letter says the baby died after developing sepsis caused by the bacteria. Infant Health says it's cooperating with the FDA's ongoing investigation and agreed to recall the product and notified healthcare providers and hospitals. The company noted its powder, which is available to consumers, is not subject to investigation or recall.
When you're driving down the road, it's not often you see a plane in the middle of the highway, but that's what happened in Arlington yesterday when a Cessna was forced to make an emergency landing. According to the FAA, 2 people are on board. Both are okay. Police closed the road for several hours to get things cleaned up. A spokesperson for Arlington Fire says the pilot reported having engine failure before making that emergency landing. Both the FAA and National Transportation Safety Board are still investigating. Right now, 437, 72 degrees.
Up next, how 2 local families whose loved ones were murdered are still actively trying to solve that case with a new reward.
And your traffic authority joins us at the top of the hour. Right now, we are looking live at 281 at San Pedro, and traffic looks good. Bright roads out there with all those street lights.
And looking out there with live cam, again, starting your day in the low 70s, 72, we'll take that, definitely. We are expecting rain, more rain, towards the end of the week. We'll be checking with Mike for all those details coming up.
2 families not deterred by time. It's been a little more than a year since Angel Ray Martinez and Gregorio Ricardo Cordova Mejia were murdered, but their families are still actively asking the community for information on the case.
Courtney Friedman takes us to the billboard they put up after the shooting to show us what big change was just made.
I wasn't even a year old when it happened. She does remember him. When she sees a picture of him, she'll go, "Hi, Dada," or "Bye, Dada." We just tell her that her dad loved her and that he just wanted the best for her.
This woman is remaining anonymous for safety. Her boyfriend, Gregorio Ricardo Cordova Mejia, was just 19 years old in July last year when he and his 15-year-old friend, Angel Ray Martinez, were shot and killed at a Southside apartment complex.
This is just a reminder to everybody around that the person who did this has not been caught.
After the murders, Angel's mom, Jessica Martinez, had this billboard put up showing their faces and a $5,000 reward. Just a month and a half ago, it was updated to $10,000. As a push to keep the case alive, the Martinez and Mejia families each raised $2,500 to put towards the reward. They spent $400 to change the billboard, and what's left will go to the monthly fee to keep it standing.
There's some tips coming in, but, you know, we need some, harder evidence.
Martinez sees the surge of violence involving young people and is getting involved in community groups.
It makes me sad. It makes me sad. It makes me want to do something about it.
She deserves justice. It's not going to bring him back, but that person doesn't deserve to be out there just in the streets when they killed somebody that had a family.
It does not matter how small your piece of information is. If your tip leads to an arrest in this case, that $10,000 could be yours. Just call Crime Stoppers at 224-STOP. From the South Side, Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
442, 72 degrees.
Up next, how Apple is planning to fix customer complaints that its latest iPhone is running hot.
Plus, how you can help thousands of military veterans here in San Antonio just by taking a few steps.
Welcome back. It's 4:45. Apple says it will be issuing a software update to fix customer complaints that its latest iPhone is running hot. ABC's Rebecca Jarvis has the details in today's GMA First Look.
In this morning's GMA First Look, some iPhones overheating.
Jump it down now, pick it up. Wow.
After Apple released the newest model last month, some heated customers have taken to online forums and social media claiming the iPhone 15 has been overheating for them. Some claiming the phone can at times be too hot to hold. And this TikTok user, Hamna Arif, showing her fingers, claiming they were burned from overheating, had her device replaced.
As you can see, there's like little bubbling happening on each of the fingers.
The company addressing the issue over the weekend, saying they identified a few conditions which can cause the iPhone to run warmer than expected, including a bug in iOS 17 that will be addressed in a software update. And we'll have more on what to do if your phone is overheating coming up at 7 a.m. With your GMA First Look, I'm Rebecca Jarvis, ABC News, New York.
Well, it's not uncommon for military veterans and their families to face challenges after they leave the service.
As Max Massey tells us, this weekend you can help thousands of veterans here in San Antonio just by taking a few steps.
I served in the Army from 2003 to 2006 with the 10th Mountain Division.
Meet Earl, an Army veteran.
I remember 9/11. I was a freshman in college when that happened, and one of the millions of people that dropped what they were doing and went and enlisted.
Earl answered the call and served our country, a time he will never forget.
So it was very fast-paced, life-changing, but I wouldn't replace it for anything.
But Earl's journey from service to where he stands today, it was not an easy path.
Wounded Warrior Project came into my life in 2010 after my best friend had committed suicide. So I turned to Wounded Warrior Project and the Warriors to Work program.
Now, Earl works for the Wounded Warrior Project here in Military City, USA.
Our mission is to honor and empower our wounded warriors.
He wants to help his fellow veterans. The national program has a big focus on physical and mental health, and it serves just over 200,000 post-9/11 warriors and about 50,000 of their family members.
Our goal is to just get warriors to live the best lives possible, purpose-driven lives. Obviously, that's something different for everybody, but they can't do that unless their mental health needs are taken care of, their physical needs are taken care of.
The Carry Forward 5K, it symbolizes the weight that veterans take on when protecting our country. Running this race while carrying flags. The goal? Raising funds for warriors and their families.
It's an incredible opportunity for the community to come out, get to know a lot of the warriors we serve, learn about our mission, and just celebrate doing what we're doing.
If you want to step up and help out local military families, or if you're a veteran looking for programs, this weekend is a great opportunity.
Come out and experience the event. It's invigorating.
Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
The Carry Forward 5K is this Saturday at Mission County Park on Padre Drive. Registration opens at 7 a.m. and the opening ceremony begins at 8 a.m.
Well, so far so good on the roads at 448 right now. We only have construction listed on the TxDOT page. Northbound 35 at Topperwine, only one lane is blocked. Looks like it is an exit ramp in that area. No crashes.
Good news there. Also exciting week. I mean, cloud cover, at least for in our area, and then a tiny little drizzle, I guess.
Yeah, we had a couple of thunderstorms around yesterday, some decent downpours that were moving through our southern counties, and the cloud cover was great, but we still got up to 92.
How the heck does that mean?
Yeah.
I figured we would be lower than that.
Well, and we're still ahead of the front. So even though this thing's going to be coming on in here, we'll have plenty of clouds hanging around here today. We're still going to be up in the low 90s, even tomorrow, too, with that better rain chance. But then that front's going to move through on Thursday. Take a look outside, and this was... Some folks, the rain was a tease over there at Woodlawn Lake, and then an absolutely gorgeous sunset. It was beautiful out. Look at that water. It just looks like glass out there. But Wow, thank you very much for that picture. All right, we do have, like I said, a couple of sprinkles showing up right now over here, right around Uvalde. Not really a heck of a lot. Some of those are actually dying down, but we still have this nice flow coming in here off of the from the southeast, and so there's actually a couple of more little pockets of rain well off in the Gulf of Mexico, and that's going to try and work its way on in here as well throughout the course of the day. So once again, just that chance is going to exist all day long. We do have some clouds hanging around here right now and dew points, so there's some humidity out there as of right now. Not ridiculously high humidity. Dew points are going to start to kind of go up though over the next couple of days, preceding that front moving on through here. And the nice thing is, though, at least with the moisture coming back on in, that's going to help to feed some of that rain. And then look at that, how things drop off toward the weekend. And that's going to be a fall weekend. It's going to be really, really pleasant around here. Today, temperatures are going to stay fairly steady throughout the course of the next couple of hours. That 20% chance for a light little sprinkly shower here and there. A fair amount of clouds throughout the day, like I said, like yesterday. And then we will make it up to 92 later on today. 30% chance for another couple of showers scattered about here and there. Some computer models aren't really that bullish on it. We do have, just a few of them here and there throughout the afternoon hours, and that's pretty much going to be about it. Now, jump to the future. Tomorrow, we have a somewhat better chance for some rain. This is that longer range model, so broad brush. And then we go into Thursday. This is going to be overnight into Thursday. The timing of the front is going to be in the afternoon. So we will have a few more showers developing ahead of the front in the commute on Thursday morning. But then as the front works its way on through here, that's going to be the better chance for some rain during the afternoon hours. And yes, there is going to be the chance for some heavier downpours. Most everything is going to be pretty much the ½ inch to an inch or so. Heavier amounts off to the east, to the northeast. Then you can get those pockets where we get some of that heavier rain around here on Thursday. We'll keep a lot of clouds then after that, and then we get that kind of secondary surge of cooler air. So we'll stay in the mid 80s Thursday, Friday. And then in behind, that's after the front moves through, so it's not going to be initially right behind that front with the cooler, drier air, but that comes in here for the long holiday weekend, and 70s. Look at that, some upper 50s around here as well. That'll be nice.
And I thought this morning was a little cooler. Wait till this weekend.
Be very nice. Maybe a little sweatshirt, something like that.
Wow.
In the morning.
Sounds great. Thanks,
Fantastic.
Mike.
Thank you, Mike. 452, 72 degrees.
And watch out for a fake Tom Hanks. Up next, what the real Tom Hanks is saying about his image being used without his permission.
And let's take a look at your lottery numbers. And we begin with pick 3, 543 Fireball 2. Daily 4 numbers 9131, Fireball 5.
Cash 5, 12, 20, 23, 31, 33. Your Texas two-step 12, 24, 31, 32. Bonus ball 19. And your Powerball numbers 12, 26, 27, 43, 47. Powerball 5, Power Play 2. Look.
5 till Beyonce will soon invade theaters across the nation. Plus, there's a fake Tom Hanks going around.
For the latest what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Jason Nathanson.
The goal for this tour was to create a place where everyone is free.
It's a great time for fans of music and movies. Another major music artist is bringing her concert movie to theaters. Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour coming to the big screen. We're told we'll see footage from her shows and a lot of behind-the-scenes stuff from the tour, but also the making of the Renaissance album. The tour, Beyonce's first in 7 years, just wrapped up Sunday in Kansas City.
Welcome to the Eras Tour.
News of Beyonce's concert film comes after Taylor Swift's Eras Tour concert film is set to hit theaters a week from Friday. Beyonce's film debuts December 1st.
Yeah, I said what I said. I'd rather be famous instead.
Doja Cat still painting the town red. Her single, Paint the Town Red, #1 for a second non-consecutive week on the Billboard Hot 100 singles chart. And it's Doja's first #1 to spend more than 1 week on top. Most of the world seems to love and trust Tom Hanks, and apparently someone is using his goodwill to make Hanks shill for a product he doesn't endorse. The Oscar-winning actor took to Instagram to warn people that a video going around of him promoting a dental plan is AI, and he has nothing to do with it. And no doubt, co-founder and lead singer Gwen Stefani with a birthday today. She's 54. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. I'm Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Los Angeles.
You missed it. Steph was singing and dancing in that story.
Good song.
Yeah.
A couple of them.
457, 72 degrees.
Former President Trump fighting back against New York's Attorney General and the judge overseeing his civil fraud trial. Up next, what Trump told reporters before his trial began.
As San Antonio ISD looks to close as many as 19 schools, how parents of Lamar Elementary are fighting to keep their school open.
Ahead on GMSA at 6, we are getting ready for the annular eclipse. Right in the path of the Alamo City, Justin Horn will be breaking it all down for us.
And RJ is in the studio now, helping us keep an eye on traffic this morning as we look live at 37 and Loop 410 on your very early Tuesday morning. You're watching GMSA.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
This morning, a driver finds a badly hurt man in the middle of the road at 35 in South Laredo last night. Up next, who police are looking for now that the man has died from his injuries.
Plus, a defiant Donald Trump criticizes New York's Attorney General and the judge overseeing his civil fraud trial. Up next, how Trump is defending himself against the accusations.
Trending now on KSAT.com this morning, a former Harlandale ISD teacher and Dallas Cowboys player arrested for animal cruelty. 44-year-old Dwayne Anthony Missouri was arrested after he abandoned a puppy in a storage unit for 2 days when temperatures were over 100 degrees. You can read more about the charges online right now.
And let's look out there with a live cam. It's, a fairly cool morning, low 70s, but just wait till those mornings get even cooler this weekend.
And a good morning to you. Hope you rested well last night. It is Tuesday, October 3rd.
Happy Tuesday. Thanks for joining us. We are I don't want to say in the middle of October, but we are well in October where it actually feels that way.
Yeah, no doubt about it. It was nice having those clouds around yesterday. We're still waiting on more significant showers and maybe a few thunderstorms, Mike.
Indeed. We'll see a couple of them around today, but the more significant rain is going to be coming in here on Thursday. It's funny how you were saying it's kind of coolish out there this morning. We're still way above normal. Normal is 65 right now. We're at 72 degrees. Dew point's at 67, so there is a bit more humidity than even what we had yesterday. Remember, it had really dropped down yesterday morning around here. We are going to make it up to 92. We hit that yesterday, despite the fact we had those clouds around here. We're going to have a fair amount of clouds still hanging around today. And again, we get up into the low 90s. Still about 7 degrees on average around the area above normal. The aquifer yesterday dropped down 0.3 of a foot, and the allergens fall elm is moderate, low amounts of mold and ragweed. Mold more than likely is going to be going up as we go into the next few days with some rain chances out there. Speaking of rain, we do have a little bit showing up on radar right now off to the west and southwest. Got to squint to see it a little bit. Just those just few little showers right there around I-35 between Divine and Cotulla, and then up in toward Uvalde. Again, just those few little sprinkles, nothing really heavier than that. Now, we will continue to see just a couple of them around here this morning, and then later on this afternoon, more are going to be developing, easy for me to say, kind of like yesterday, where most of us aren't going to be seeing any rain. You might get a few of those showers, even a couple of thunderstorms. So low 90s again today. Tomorrow, somewhat better rain chance, though. Still low 90s, right around 90 here in town. Then the more significant rain moves in here on Thursday, and it's really going to continue to kind of pick up throughout the day because the front is not going to be moving on through here until later on in the afternoon. So we'll have a few scatter showers around in the morning. But then rain and some heavy downpours are going to be possible around here during the day. We'll stay in the mid 80s. Cold front comes through then. Still mid 80s low to mid 80s on Friday. Then we get that kind of extra push of cooler air coming in here for the weekend. So the weekend is going to feel like fall. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, the man behind the wheel this morning, RJ Marquez. Good morning, sir. What's up?
Yeah, good morning, guys, and happy Tuesday to everyone out there. All right, taking you outside to the southeast side with TransGuide traffic cameras right now, and this just popped up past 10 minutes or so. We appear to have a reported crash out here in the southbound lanes of 37 at US 181, and this is out there by Old Corpus Christi Highway. And you can see it looks like there's a car that maybe struck the guardrail. We have a couple of TxDOT crews there basically on the scene right now, so some of the Hero trucks, and we'll try and see if we get a little bit more information on what exactly is going on out there. Again, this just popped up over the past 10 minutes or so, and looking at our maps, you can see that traffic is still kind of getting through there, but We just saw on that camera shot that it looks like there's at least a couple of emergency officials out there, and they may be blocking that one lane there where that one vehicle appeared to maybe struck the guardrail. So we will continue to follow that as we move along during your 5 o'clock hour here on GMSA. Want to let you know about this other incident being reported right now by TransGuide. Just got off the phone with them. They said that there appears to be a minor crash there, I-10 westbound at Greytown Road. So again, hadn't seen anything official on TxDOT's website yet on this. Again, I'm hearing from TransGuide that this appears to be just a minor crash there on the far east side there, I-10 westbound at Greytown Road. So that's just some information for our drivers coming in from that part of town. Taking a look at the rest of our maps here, and traffic looking pretty good so far. The rest of the city, again, biggest thing that we're following right now is this crash on the southeast side, I-37 at U.S. Highway 181, and we'll see if we get a little bit more information, see if TxDOT or any of these crews out there end up closing any of these lanes. Mark, back to you.
RJ, thank you. New this morning, San Antonio police say a man is dead after he was hit by a vehicle. It happened around 8:30 last night near I-35 in South Laredo. Police say someone driving by saw the man in the middle of the road with severe head trauma. That driver was able to stop traffic and call emergency crews. The victim was pronounced dead at the scene. Police say earlier someone hit the man with their vehicle and did not stop to help. So far, there's no description of the suspect vehicle.
Now to a battle at Lamar Elementary. It was between San Antonio ISD officials and parents. The district is considering closing 19 schools. However, parents are making a case to keep at least Lamar open. At last night's meeting, they told district officials that even though Lamar's enrollment dropped during COVID, that appears to be changing. Parents also believe the school will meet any and all standards to stay open. Another meeting will be held later today at Gates Elementary. We have a link to a list of the meetings on our website at KSAT.com. Trustees will vote on the right sizing proposal on November 13th.
A 9-year-old girl who vanished during a family camping trip in New York's capital region has been found. Charlotte Senna is now safe and in good health after a massive 2-day search ended with her rescue and the arrest of a person suspected in her abduction. Senna disappeared while riding her bike early Saturday morning at Moreau Lake State Park, a heavily wooded area just north of Albany. New York's governor says investigators were able to identify a fingerprint from a ransom note allegedly left by that suspect. Former President Trump's $250 million fraud trial is now underway.
And there were some new fireworks overnight from his son, Eric. And as ABC's Rhiannon Alley reports, Trump is reportedly expected to be in attendance today for day 2 of his civil trial in New York.
Former President Trump is reportedly expected to be in attendance today for day 2 of his civil trial in New York. Yesterday, Trump sat with his arms crossed, shaking his head throughout opening statements, sometimes muttering under his breath. New York Attorney General Letitia James was seen here staring at Trump. She accused the former president of fraud.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
The judge already ruled Trump did commit fraud, inflating his net worth by as much as $2.2 billion by overvaluing much of his real estate empire. The trial could result in Trump being forced to give up control of his signature properties in New York. Lawyers for the state argue the Trump Organization inflated the value of the Trump Tower penthouse by some $200 million. And while Trump said Mar-a-Lago was worth up to $600 million, the state says its assessed value was no more than $27 million.
The Attorney General's office says Trump inflated his net worth to get better terms on loans and on insurance.
Trump's lawyers say real estate values, even square footage, are subjective and says the Trump properties are Mona Lisa properties, suggesting they're priceless. The former president using familiar language to describe yesterday's proceedings.
So very simply put, it's a witch hunt. It's a disgrace.
His son Eric on Fox News overnight claiming the trial is designed to keep his father off the campaign trail.
They want to have my father spend tens and tens and tens of millions of dollars, so he's distracted, so he can't be in South Carolina, and he can't be in Iowa, and he can't be in Nevada.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Well, now to a bit of change here on GMSA to better serve our viewers and the community we love. Good morning, San Antonio. On KSAT 12 will now air from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. every weekday morning, beginning this coming Monday, October 9th.
This change allows for more immediate news gathering on the stories that matter to you and your family the moment you wake up and at the time that works best for you.
Our dedication to breaking news from overnight, pinpoint traffic reports, and the most accurate Weather Authority forecast continues on GMSA weekdays from 5 to 7 here on KSAT. Watch or stream live wherever you get your news.
And time now, it's 5:09 and 72 degrees for now.
Tired of all those ads on TikTok? Up next, how you can get rid of them for a price.
And San Antonio has seen its fair share of shootings and other crimes lately. Up next, how area neighborhoods hosting National Night Out events tonight hope to strengthen their communities and make things safer.
And outside with live cam, a nobody won Powerball. It's up to $1.2 billion. The next drawing is tomorrow night. Mega's not bad, $300 million. That's up for grabs tonight. You're watching GMSA. 513, strengthening communities to create safer neighborhoods.
That's the goal of so many community leaders who will be taking part in the National Night Out tonight. So Pastor Vincent Robinson is co-chair of the West End Hope in Action program, and the organization will be leading their neighbors together at the Frank Garrett Multi-Service Center from 4 to 8 p.m. Now, he says it takes one neighbor to begin to make a difference in a block, and hopefully they can lead to creating a safer place to live for everyone.
So if you want to clean up your community, you want to get to know your law enforcement, you want to get to know your neighbor, you got to come out to these events.
So Robinson is pastor of Harper's Chapel Baptist Church on Lebrano. He says his goal is to bridge the gap and help anyone who's in need of food and services.
514, 72 degrees.
Another social media company is suing X, formerly known as Twitter. Up next, why the company says X infringes its trademark.
And checking TransGuide, we've still got that instant working 37 at 181. RJ's going to get us updated coming up a little bit later on in the newscast.
It's hard to run a business on your own. With Shopify, you have everything you need to set up your online store, to connect with customers, and to bring your dream business to life. Because when we work together, the future is bright. These days, your customers are not just down the hall. They are all over the world.
So cute.
It doesn't have to be lonely at the top. Join the millions defining success on their own terms. Start your journey with a free trial today.
Now's the time for cleaner indoor air with an air duct cleaning from Stanley Steamer. You've known us for carpet cleaning, but we've been cleaning air ducts for over 20 years. We do things the right way, cleaning your entire system. So if you need an air duct cleaning, call 1-800-STEAMER today.
In today's Tech Bites, TikTok users may soon get to enjoy the platform without ads. The company is reportedly testing an ad-free version of its app that's expected to cost $4.99 a month. The app will still be available at no cost for users who don't want to pay to ditch the ads. Next, a new legal battle for Elon Musk's X, formerly known as Twitter. The platform is being sued by a Florida ad agency called X Social Media for competition and trademark infringement. X Social Media says X is causing marketplace confusion, resulting in a loss of revenue. And finally, an AI warning from Tom Hanks. The actor says his likeness was used for a dental plan ad without his consent. Hanks is one of many voices in TV and film speaking out after AI versions of them were used in ads. Now, I don't care how many AI versions of Tom Hanks they make because there is only one Forrest. One. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
What am I missing?
One instead
Like
of
run, Forrest, run, one, Forrest, one. Yeah.
Oh, that's how bad it was. Okay, got it. I'm shocked. I was convinced that was Tom Hanks. Not even close. I mean, his mouth was different.
It looks more like his son than him.
Oh, is it Chet? Or the actor? The one that was in...
Yes.
It's been in some...
Colin.
Colin Hanks, yes.
Colin Hanks.
Thank you for the young brain there, RJ. You saved me today. How are you?
Doing well, guys. Yeah, things not going so great out there for our drivers. On the southeast side, let's take a look at TransGuide traffic cameras right now. And this is a crash we've been following over the past 15 minutes or so. Looking at the southbound lanes of 37 at US 181 right there. And you can see that there's a car that appeared to crash into a guardrail, it looks like. And I've seen some TxDOT Hero trucks kind of make their way in and out of this area here, but we do know that this lane right here is at least blocked. So one main lane is blocked. We have the shoulder blocked there as well, and you can see that we have emergency crews further up there. So this is right in between Loop 410 and also Loop 1604. So again, the southeast side, the southbound lanes of 37 at US 181. This crash right there, and it looks like TxDOT trying to do their what they have to do right now to clear that out. Taking a look at our map, so you can see that. We do have, of course, a little bit of a delay there, back up there. We did see traffic in through the area right now, but again, one main lane closed at the moment there, 37 southbound, and the shoulder is also closed where that crash occurred. Taking a look at some bridge work that's going to be taking place later today, and we're looking at Loop 1604 there on the northeast side there over at Bulverde Road. So this is going to take place tonight, 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. So just kind of keep notice of this if you're heading out there in the overnight hours or maybe late tonight. Again, National Night Out, so maybe some people are going to be out a little bit later. Just keep this in mind. Loop 1604 there on the northeast side at Bulverde Road. We're going to see some bridge repairs, but we will continue to follow this crash. This is kind of the biggest thing that we are looking at the moment. Mike, how are things looking outside?
Thank you very much, sir. Good. This is a great picture now from a couple of days ago, but absolutely spectacular. That almost looks like a painting, but look at the oranges and yellows, purples in there. Thank you very much for that shot. I love that one. All right, we do have a little bit of some light rain showing up on radar right now down to the southwest, and just these few sprinkles here. Dilley had a couple, one or two around Pearsall. There have been a few around Uvalde this morning. Obviously, there's not much. They're kind of popping up and sort of fizzling on out, so we'll keep just one or two of these light little sprinkles around this morning, and then we'll have more obviously developing later on this afternoon, which is what computer models are showing, but not overly anxious with the rain. More off to the east over there by Houston. Then those even kind of die down a little bit. And then throughout the afternoon, like what we had around here yesterday, some folks are going to be seeing some rain. Most of us aren't going to be seeing anything. That'll be the case throughout, like I said, the afternoon, maybe going into the evening hours. Then tomorrow we have a slightly better shot at a few showers around here. Clouds hanging around, obviously, this morning. 72 degrees right now, and we'll stay steady, maybe fluctuate a degree or two in the next hour or so with that little bit of a light shower here and there, that 20% chance. Just going to keep that small chance in the forecast throughout the day, one or two of them popping up here and there, and then 30% chance later on this afternoon for a couple of showers, 92 high temperature. So despite the fact that we will have a fair amount of clouds around here like yesterday, we are still going to make it up into the low 90s. So we'll still be a good 5, 6, 7 degrees on average around the area above normal. Here's what's going on with the upper level winds. There's that big low off there, that big huge trough off to the west of us, and that will primarily work its way straight west to east, but it is going to throw the front through here. Now the front is not going to actually make it through until tomorrow, Thursday afternoon. Getting ahead of myself here. As it approaches, it is going to enhance the rain chances somewhat tomorrow, but then especially during the day on Thursday. Then that's going to push on through. Then what's going to happen is we get a sort of another push of cooler air that will move in behind that. So we stay in the mid 80s thanks to a lot of the cloud cover Thursday, Friday. Then by Saturday, Sunday, with this cooler air moving on in here, that's going to put us into the 70s and actually low temperatures, low 60s, upper 50s over parts of the weekend. We will moderate a little bit toward the first part of next week, but there's another big trough that's going to be developing out there to the west of us, and it looks like another then front will move through by perhaps late next week. So definitely getting into more of a fallish pattern around here. Except today and tomorrow, still low 90s. We will have a couple of scattered showers, and then the better chance of rain is going to be Thursday, especially during the day. Morning, yeah, some rain, but it'll pick up, and there may be a couple of heavy downpours as well. Mid 80s Thursday, Friday, 70s over the weekend. A lot of clouds Saturday, I think more sunshine Sunday. And look at those low temperatures in the upper 50s.
Looks pretty.
Wow. I know, it is kind of
very
like
exciting.
After all we've been enduring, it's like, you know.
Yes.
It is that, Mike.
It is that.
Yes.
Yeah, you hit that high note. So.
Yes, your angelic voice. Thank you very much. 525, 71 degrees.
Up next, your first look at Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, and the thriller Leave This World Behind, starring Julia Roberts.
527, Taylor Swift is not the only music superstar headed to the big screen.
CNN's David Daniel has that and your first look at a film starring a pair of Oscar winners in today's Hollywood Minute.
Welcome to Mother's Mind.
Beyoncé's Renaissance World Tour is coming to theaters. Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé, traces the arc of the superstar's show, which drew more than 2.7 million fans from its inception to its finale. Renaissance, a film by Beyoncé, opens in theaters December 1st.
We are seeing ongoing cyber attacks across the country.
The truth is much scarier.
What is the truth?
Here's your first look at Leave the World Behind from Mr. Robot and Metropolis creator Sam Ismail. Julia Roberts, Mahershala Ali, Ethan Hawke, and Kevin Bacon star in the apocalyptic thriller, which opens this month's AFI Film Fest, debuts in select theaters November 22nd, and premieres on Netflix December 8th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
529, 71 degrees.
New action is being taken in Washington to try to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy. Up next, how McCarthy is countering the rising number of Republicans going against him for helping stop the government shutdown.
Your smartphone will make a loud noise tomorrow. Up next, what you need to know about this new emergency alert test. This morning, some Republican lawmakers in Washington aren't too happy with House Speaker Kevin McCarthy for helping stop the government shutdown.
At this point next week, one of two things will happen. Kevin McCarthy won't be the Speaker of the House, or he'll be the Speaker of the House working at the pleasure of the Democrats.
Up next, how McCarthy is making sure threats to oust him get squashed and why some Democrats may help him.
And looking out there with a live cam, we're starting at 71 degrees, and I was already happy yesterday just with the cloud cover in the afternoon, but better things are on their way.
It was darker in my house, so I kept waiting for it to rain, and that never really happened. But be patient, everybody. We know that's on the way. Good morning. It's Tuesday, October 3rd.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you had a wonderful week so far. This October is starting off great.
Yeah, just fantastic. It's nice when the clouds kind of take the edge off, you know, with the sun beaming down, but we still made it up into the low 90s yesterday, and that's still going to be the case today and then tomorrow. But we will have improving rain chances as time goes on. A couple of showers out there, well, one or two of them this morning, and then we'll have a few more later on throughout the course of the day. Today, we've got a fair amount of clouds starting off, and temperature right now stands at 72. The normal average low mid-60s. So again, across the board, we're averaging 5, 6, 7 degrees above the normal. And the dew point, which is at 67. Yesterday at this time, we were right around 64. So just a tad more humidity out there. That, though, is going to be going up. The humidity will. That's going to be feeding that rain that comes on in here, especially Thursday, and feeding potentially some heavier downpours. As you can see, we do still have these few showers off to the west, just a few little light scattered showers, not amounting to anything, but hey, we'll take anything we can get as of right now, and then we'll see more developing, like I said, later on today. Fall elm is moderate. Mold and ragweed are both on the low side throughout the rest of today. 86 at noon, already at the normal high, and then 92 for high temperature like yesterday, with a fair amount of clouds and some of those showers and thunderstorms around here. We're still looking at a little bit better chance of rain tomorrow. Then the better chance of rain moves in here on Thursday as the front works its way on through, especially later on in the afternoon, and that'll help to hold temperatures down with the clouds. Then we get this secondary kind of push of cooler air coming in here for the weekend. The weekend's still going to be fantastic. Details coming up in just a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, got to see some flashing lights out there.
Well, yeah, Mike, a crash that we've been following for the past 40 minutes or so, and we have a rollover crash here. You can see that TxDOT crews and emergency crews are on the scene right now. It looks like a law enforcement official right here has blocked at least one of the main lanes here of I-37 south at US 181, and you can see that traffic is still getting through the area, but again, this is something that our drivers there on the southeast side need to be aware about. I-37 southbound at US Highway 181. We have a rollover crash that you could see it's blocked at least one of the main lanes and the shoulder right there. So let's go ahead and take a look at some other inbound times that we've been following throughout the morning. And really everything looks pretty good. A lot of green on our screen here. So that's good news for everyone out there, including people coming in from Pleasanton or Floresville. I know a couple of friends out there in Floresville that always make their way into San Antonio. Lavernia, things looking good out out there. Only sort of delay we're seeing is out there in Castroville, and it's always kind of busy there on US 90 there from people coming in from Castroville. But again, biggest thing we're following right now, 37 southbound US 181. We'll take one quick look at some other TransGuide traffic cameras. Hadn't really looked at many of them throughout the morning. 35 south there, things looking good. 37 at Jones Avenue, traffic moving along pretty smooth in that area as well. And then 410 Jackson Keller, traffic moving along pretty smooth there as well. Stephanie, back to you.
Thank you, RJ. San Antonio police are trying to find out who hit a man and left him to die on a street just south of downtown. A passerby found him last night under the I-35 bridge at South Laredo Street. Our Katrina Weber is there with a live report. Katrina, do they have any leads at this point?
Well, based on what officers told us last night, it doesn't seem that they do. They had not found any witnesses. The police blocked off this area under I-35 near South Laredo after a driver passing by noticed the man down on the ground with a serious head injury. The driver was able to keep other cars away from the area and call 911. And then when paramedics and police got here around 8:30 last night, they determined the man was dead. Officers say it looks like another driver hit him and kept going, but at that early stage, they had not even found anything telling them what kind of car was involved. I can't help but notice that this area has several gas stations and other businesses nearby, so it's possible there may be some surveillance video that could help police. Also, I did check in with the medical examiner just a little while ago, but they did not have any information to identify the man who was killed here. Reporting live south of downtown, Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Katrina, thank you. 5:37, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy helped prevent a government shutdown over the weekend, in part because he worked alongside Democratic lawmakers.
And now, thanks to several members of the GOP, McCarthy might need assistance from Democrats to help keep his job. As CNN's John Lawrence reports, there hasn't been a high-profile showdown like this on Capitol Hill since 2015.
Throughout his career, former President Ronald Reagan repeatedly invoked the 11th commandment, which said, "Thou shalt not speak ill of any fellow Republican." That's not what's happening now.
I knew Congress was a disaster, but it is far worse than I thought.
On Monday, Florida Representative Matt Gaetz offered a motion to vacate the chair on the House floor. In other words, kicking House Speaker Kevin McCarthy out of the job.
At this point next week, one of two things will happen. Kevin McCarthy won't be the Speaker of the House, or he'll be the Speaker of the House working at the pleasure of the Democrats.
Several sources tell CNN that McCarthy is expected to make a procedural move that would squash Gaetz's threat.
It's easy to surrender. If you want to surrender, yeah. But if you want to fight for the American public, to secure our borders and keep government open, how is that a problem?
Gaetz says he has enough Republicans to force McCarthy to vacate.
Conscience is telling me to vote him out.
If so, McCarthy will need Democratic backing to save his speakership. And right now, House Democrats say they are waiting for Democratic leadership to take a stand on the matter.
I don't think it's Matt Gaetz or Kevin, right? I think ultimately every member has to do what they think is right.
I'm John Lawrence reporting.
Millions of Americans who depend on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, better known as SNAP, will see several changes this month. SNAP benefits are increasing by 12.5% compared to last year. That means a family of four get a maximum of $973 a month. The extra money is to make up for inflation and an increased cost of living. Here's another change. Able-bodied adults without dependents that are 51 or 52 years old will now need to prove they're actively working, training, or in school to qualify for SNAP benefits. That change will then expand to 51 through 54-year-olds starting next October.
Don't panic tomorrow when your smartphone lets out a loud screech. Now, the federal government is planning a nationwide test of the emergency alert system at 1:20 p.m. our time. The test will include wireless emergency alerts in addition to television and radio. You should also receive a text message telling you it's only a test. So this will mark only the second time the federal government has sent the alert to mobile phones.
No one won last night's Powerball drawing. That means the jackpot has risen to $1.2 billion as of this morning. According to the Texas Lottery, 5 people across the state won $100,000 prizes by matching 4 out of 5 with the Powerball. The next drawing for Powerball tomorrow night, the estimated cash value or lump sum amount, $551 million. And Mega is tonight, $300 million.
Good luck. Time now, 5:40, 71 degrees for now.
Up next, a wake-up call for parents as more teens begin exploring artificial intelligence. What you need to know about what happened to a group of girls in Spain recently that could happen just about anywhere.
Let's look out there with a live cam, 71 degrees. Pretty cool morning compared to the other mornings we've had in the past few weeks, but it's going to get even cooler, especially this weekend when we're talking about those morning hours. We'll be right back.
Now to a scheme targeting teenagers with the help of artificial intelligence.
A group of boys in Spain are accused of using an app to digitally undress dozens of girls. ABC's Emmanuel Saliba has the details.
This morning, a wake-up call for parents as more teens begin to explore artificial intelligence. Experts say what happened to a group of girls in Spain recently could happen anywhere. Spanish authorities say more than 30 girls ages 12 to 14 started receiving fake nude images of themselves. The images were created using an app powered by artificial intelligence that undresses people. Police say a group of teen boys had used photos from the girls' social media profiles, uploaded them to the app, and shared them on social media.
So essentially, these apps virtually strip individuals, and that enables folks to distribute images of them in attempts maybe to sexually shame them, to humiliate them, or just because they think it's funny.
Sophie Maddox, an expert on cyber-sexual violence, says these apps are becoming more accessible.
This issue is happening for everyday people, not just celebrities and folks in the public eye.
And while these nude images are fabricated, experts like Carrie Goldberg, who's not involved in the Spain case, but who has represented victims of digital sexual abuse, says the impact on victims is long-lasting.
They're very compelling and convincing photos so that it really does look like it's a picture of the victim nude. It really has the same devastating consequences as if it was an actual photograph that depicted you. The harm isn't any different. Children in particular don't have the coping mechanism to realize that this could be a solvable problem.
Experts say it's important to create a safe space for your child to come forward.
It's really important to seek the support of a trusted adult whenever you see or experience something online that makes you feel uncomfortable.
And as far as whether or not these deepfake nude apps should even exist, experts agree they're creating much more harm than good, fueling more calls for government regulation of this expanding technology. Emmanuel Saliba, ABC News, New York.
546, 71 degrees.
Check the roads with TransGuide, looking over at I-37 at U.S. Highway 181. Still problems there, but here on the screen, I-35 at Loop 410 and I-35 at Topperwine, things look pretty good and they're moving. We're going to be checking in with RJ Marquez very soon.
5:49 now on Good Morning San Antonio, and we are still following this crash here, which crews have been out here for a pretty good while now. They're the southbound lanes of US 37 at US Highway 181. Again, we have seen that traffic has been blocked, or one of the main lanes there, and the shoulder as well there. But traffic, this other lane on the left-hand side, still getting through there. Again, the southbound lanes of I-37 at US 181. This is kind of the biggest thing that we are following at the moment. As we take a look at our big map here, and you can see our map showing that we do have this crash there on the southeast side. But for the most part, things are looking pretty good out there for the rest of our drivers across the city of San Antonio. I'll follow this. I've noticed that our maps are showing a little bit of red there. See if we get a little bit more information on what's going on in that area as well. And I did see right now, just pop up on TxDOT's website. It looks like we have some sort of stalled vehicle there on South Alamo in the downtown area. So just kind of keep that in mind. But again, this is kind of the biggest thing we're looking at so far. Wanted to also show you this shot real quick. The Alamo Dome, really like this shot, even though we do have that banner kind of blocking the top of the Tower of the Americas, but really like this shot from the Alamo Dome there. So
we can make that go away one day. It just depends.
Just kind of just shave it off right there so we can see the full tower.
The tower in purple right there.
Oh, so our banner needs to go on a diet. Just cut that part off.
I asked him. I did. I think they're working on it.
Okay. Like, or the graphic or something. Yeah.
They're like, wait a minute. KSAT wants us to pan up, pan down.
I know. Move left.
Although we've done it before for accidents, right?
Yeah. So they're
Still
responsive. So maybe they're working on it.
Thank you, Trans Guy.
Yes,
we want to
thank
stay
you.
friends. We promise.
Yes,
Okay,
we
I just looked
appreciate
over at
the
that
shot.
monitor. I was like, oh, no, there's
Yeah,
no
the other
banner.
monitor.
Different
We can
monitors.
see it.
All right.
Yeah.
Interesting picture, and this was from yesterday morning as the moon was just right about 6 o'clock, and we're a couple of days past full, so it's just setting right as the sun is thinking about coming up, and great little shot there of the waning now gibbous moon just past full. So great little shot there. That was yesterday at 6 o'clock in the morning. So thank you very much for that picture. All right, we got a couple little still sprinkly showers out there to the southwest. Everything's sliding up to the northwest, and even I don't want to say a decent shower, but, a little bit more than just some light rain out there. This is not going to amount to much of anything. We do have a few more showers, as you can see, well off there to the east of us, and there's going to be more out toward Houston today. We will have just one or two of them this morning, and then we'll have a few more developing later on this afternoon, like yesterday. 72 at 6 o'clock this morning, 71 will bottom out at, and still I'm going to keep that 20% chance even throughout the day because we had a couple of them here and there like yesterday. That'll be the case again today. Up to 86 at noon, already normal high temperature at noon, top off 92. Again, I keep referring to yesterday because today is almost going to be just a twin of yesterday with those few scattered showers out there. Computer model is not really too bullish about the rain today like yesterday, but again, we will have those pockets here and there. Then we go into tomorrow. Somewhat better chance for rain. This is a different computer model. It tends to, again, kind of broad brush things in there, but we will have that slightly better chance for some rain. Then as we go into the overnight hours Thursday, that's when the front's going to start to push on in here. It is not going to move through until later on in the day, so we'll have some scattered rain in the morning. Then as the front continues to work its way across the area, that's when we'll have the better chance for some rain tomorrow throughout the afternoon hours, maybe even a couple of heavier downpours around here as well. But the majority of the really heavy rain, though, is going to be further up to the north and to the northeast. We'll have in the range of 1-2 inches of rain around here. Now, granted, there will be a couple of pockets that are going to be on the heavier side, so we'll have to watch out for that because there's going to be a lot of moisture in the atmosphere to get squeezed out on Thursday as that front works its way through here. 90s today, tomorrow, and then, like I said, that little bit better chance of rain tomorrow. Then we get the front moving through on Thursday. It doesn't come through until later on in the afternoon. It's not going to be one of those when the front moves through, we get the immediate drop in temperatures. Yes, we will stay in the mid 80s, but then we get that secondary surge of some cooler air coming in here for the weekend. So that'll put us down into the 70s for high temperatures over the weekend.
What a treat.
I know. It's going to be fantastic.
Looking forward to it. Thank you, Mike.
554, 71 degrees.
Look at your winning lotto numbers. Pick 3, 543, Fireball 2, Daily 4, 9131, Fireball 5.
Cash 5 numbers 12, 20, 23, 31, 33. Texas two-step 12, 24, 31, 32 with a bonus ball of 19. And Powerball, again, up to $1.2 billion. The numbers last night, 12, 26, 27, 43, 47. The Powerball 5, Power Play 2. Good luck.
Good morning. Coming up here on a Tuesday on GMA, Speaker McCarthy facing an effort to force him out of the job with another government shutdown looming just before Thanksgiving. Now, will Democrats bail him out again? Rachel Scott is going to have more from Capitol Hill. And also this morning, the trial of Sam Bankman-Fried set to begin. Once considered the king of cryptocurrency, he is charged with fraud. We'll get into that story and so much more right here on GMA.
And ahead the next hour of GMSA, we're tracking the latest on the carjacking of Texas Congressman Henry Cuellar at gunpoint in Washington, D.C., what police are saying and what happens next. Plus, our Justin Horn getting ready for the annular eclipse next weekend, why it's expected to happen in the path of the Alamo City. And checking TransGuide, we've only had a couple of incidents this morning, including a big one, but right now things look fantastic on the roads, including at 35 and Loop 410.
This morning on GMSA, San Antonio police are trying to find out who hit a man and left him to die on a street south of downtown. What we've been able to learn from the scene. Plus,
The House could vote as soon as today on a measure to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy from his leadership. I'm ABC's Justin Finch with what's behind this challenge and McCarthy's reaction this morning.
And the little girl who vanished in New York State has been found safe. How a ransom note helped police catch a suspect.
And we're starting your morning at 72 degrees. What a treat already. And things are just going to get cooler when it comes to the mornings and even our afternoons. We'll be checking in with Mike for the good news very soon.
Live from KSAT 12. Good morning, San Antonio starts right now.
Good morning to you. It is 6 a.m. on your Tuesday, October 3rd.
Thanks for joining us. We hope you enjoyed your Monday. And if you didn't get rain, we hope you got some cloud cover at least. I know I did, which was a nice afternoon overall.
It was. Mike said it still got plenty warm yesterday. The big question is, when does an umbrella become a full-time accessory this week?
I'd keep one handy today. We'll have a couple of scattered showers. Most of us won't see anything today. A little bit better chance tomorrow than Thursday. That's going to be the good accessory for that. Now, despite the cloud cover yesterday, like you were saying, it was still on the warm side. We still got up to 92. We're going to be up there again today. And temperatures right now, we're in the low 70s, but that's still on average around the area 5, 6, 7 degrees above normal. A couple of little sprinkly showers out here to the west. As you can see, they really haven't amounted to too much. Some around Concan, Uvalde, you've seen a couple of sprinkles around Cotulla as well. That's about it. So just keep that small chance of rain in the forecast this morning to account for that. 73 now, so we have gone up 1 degree in the past hour. Upper 60s in parts of the hill country, and there's a bit more humidity. This actually came up slightly in these numbers, dew point temperatures. Measure moisture in the atmosphere, even compared to last hour. And we are going to keep more humidity around the next couple of days. But what that's going to do, though, is help to feed those showers, especially coming in here by Thursday. Fall elm is moderate, mold, ragweed on the low side. Throughout the rest of the morning, we may fluctuate now a couple of degrees here and there over the next hour or so. And again, keep that small chance for a shower around this morning and even throughout the rest of today, because there's going to be just one or two of them here and there popping up. 86 at noon, and then a high temperature today up to 92. So again, fair amount of clouds like yesterday, but still we are going to be on average 6, 7 degrees above normal. Tomorrow, better chance of rain. And then again, we'll talk about the even better chance of rain on Thursday. Then in behind that, we get a surge of cool air just in time for the weekend. Details on that coming up in a couple of minutes. Traffic Authority, RJ, still got those flashing lights out there?
No, great news out there, Mike, on the southeast side as TxDOT has cleared out that crash that we saw a little bit earlier. It was a rollover crash there, southbound 37 at US 181, but we are all clear. So let's go ahead and check out some other cameras from across the city. 35 Loop 410, smooth sailing right there. See if we get another one in here. 35 and Topper Wine, traffic moving great in that area as well. As we take a look at our inbound times, you can see that it's pretty good stuff here. We got a lot of green here, so traffic moving along pretty smooth, especially if you're coming from the north side there. Boulevard 281. I know David Sears is probably getting on his way into the station right now. We got 24 minutes from New Braunfels and 22 minutes there out in Bernie. Want to let you know about some road work and construction that we have taking place. This is taking place through October 6th, so through this Friday out there in the near west side. The westbound main lane, we're going to have closures there, alternating lanes on 36th Street to Loop 410. So drivers in the near west side, just kind of keep this in mind. We have some mill and overlay operations. But again, traffic moving along pretty smooth. Knock on wood, hopefully that we continue to see that these drivers are doing well on the roadways. Might be a good time to stop, maybe pick up some coffee or some breakfast. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, RJ. New this morning, an arrest has been made in a deadly stabbing that happened earlier this year. So here's a look at the woman now in custody. This is 34-year-old Whitney Caraway. Now, this is video from the scene when it happened back in May. Officers found the wounded woman in the street outside an apartment complex on Jackson Keller Road near West Avenue. Witnesses believe it started with a fight and were able to identify Caraway. She is facing murder charges.
Also new this morning, San Antonio police say a man is dead after he was hit by a vehicle. Happened around 8:30 last night near I-35 in South Laredo. Police say someone driving by saw the man in the middle of the road with severe head trauma under a bridge. That driver was able to stop traffic and call emergency crews. The victim died at the scene. Police say earlier someone hit the man with their vehicle and did not stop to help. So far, there's no description of the suspect's vehicle.
New details this morning on a battle at Lamar Elementary. That is between San Antonio ISD officials and parents. The district is considering closing 19 schools while parents are making a case to keep at least Lamar open. Parents at last night's meeting told district officials that even though Lamar's enrollment dropped during COVID, that appears to be changing. Parents also believe the school will meet any and all standards to stay open. Another meeting will be held later today at Gates Elementary. We have a link to the list of meetings on our website at KSAT.com. Now, trustees will vote on the right sizing proposal on November 13th.
Taking a live look this morning in your headlines at the U.S. Capitol in Washington, where House Speaker Kevin McCarthy's job could be in jeopardy. Fellow Republican Matt Gaetz filed a motion to remove McCarthy as Speaker.
As ABC's Justin Finch reports, if a majority of House members vote in favor, McCarthy could be ousted from his post in just days.
Recognize the gentleman from Florida, Mr.
From the House floor, Florida Republican Matt Gaetz taking aim at Speaker Kevin McCarthy, entering his motion to strip McCarthy of the speakership.
Declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant. Resolved that the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives is hereby declared to be vacant.
Now the House has to rule within 48 hours. McCarthy posting his response on social media saying, "Bring it on." Gaetz finally filing his motion after months of threats that intensified over last weekend after McCarthy worked with Democrats to pass a short-term deal to fund the government until November 17th. McCarthy rebuffing Gaetz's challenge.
We've got a short time period here, about 45 days to get our work done. That's my entire focus.
That bipartisan agreement buying the House more time after McCarthy failed to win over hardline conservatives who were blocking his stopgap proposals and refusing to support new Ukraine defense funding. Though the final deal does not include Ukraine spending, the president says McCarthy assured him it would be approved separately. An agreement Gaetz says was the final straw. Across the aisle, House Democrats have not said if they will help supply McCarthy with enough votes to keep his gavel.
At the end of the day, I'm waiting to hear from Leader Jeffries.
In U.S. history, there have only been two efforts to remove a sitting House Speaker. Both failed in 1910 and 2015. Gaetz says he has enough Republican votes to oust McCarthy, but says he's prepared for Democrats to support the Speaker. Justin Finch, ABC News, Washington.
In your other headlines this morning, a 9-year-old girl who vanished from a park near Albany, New York over the weekend is safe this morning, and the suspect in her abduction is now in custody. Saturday morning, during a family trip at Moreau Lake State Park, 9-year-old Charlotte Senna went for a bike ride and didn't come back. But yesterday saw a big break in the case at Charlotte's home.
4:20 a.m. The car pulls up to a mailbox. Something is left. State police immediately go to the mailbox and identify what is a ransom note that had been left behind.
Police say they lifted a fingerprint from the note and ran it through a database. A crime from nearly 25 years ago helped identify the suspect. Police following that lead to the home of the suspect's mother, 13 miles from Charlotte's house. There they say they found 47-year-old Craig Nelson Ross Jr. The little girl was found safe in a cabinet.
Millions of Americans who depend on the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program or SNAP benefits will see several changes this month. SNAP benefits are increasing by 12.5% compared to last year, and that means a family of four could get a maximum of $973 a month. The extra money is to make up for inflation and an increased cost of living. But here's another change. Able-bodied adults without dependents that are 51 or 52 years old will now need to prove that they're actively working, training, or in school to qualify for SNAP benefits. That change will expand to 51 through 54 years old starting next October.
Looking ahead, GMSA will look a little different starting next week to better serve our viewers and the community we love. Good Morning San Antonio on KSAT will now air from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. every weekday morning, beginning this coming Monday, October 9th.
This change allows for more immediate news gathering on the stories that matter to you and your family the moment you wake up and at a time that works best for you.
Our dedication to breaking news from overnight, pinpoint traffic reports, and your most accurate Weather Authority forecast continues right here on GMSA weekdays from 5 to 7 on KSAT 12. Watch or stream live wherever you get your news.
Time now 6:10 and 72 degrees for now.
Still to come, TikTok testing a way to avoid ads on their app for price, how much it could cost you, coming up before 6:30.
And there are a lot of questions about federal student loans after payments restarted Sunday. We're breaking down what you need to know after the break.
Outside with live cam, 72 degrees, kind of humid out there. There are some morning clouds, but we need the rain so bad. And a pretty decent chance is still very much in Mike's forecast. We'll take a closer look coming up.